It's probably one of my most frequently asked questions. Why did I leave Delos? I get all tight in the chest sometimes when I talk. What is our intuition? How do I say that? Makes me quite emotional. It's like a connection to the spirit realm. No, I just got goosebumps. And so my answer will sort of be woven into that. My heart space. This is my favorite incense at the moment. I think it's like an all-time favorite for lots of people. I've just parked in front of the beautiful, beautiful ocean. Sitting in this van that I have been traveling up the east coast of Australia in for the past couple of months. Today's video is specifically going to be just about one question, and it's probably one of my most frequently asked questions that I've received over the past 2 or 3 years. And the reason why I want to do a specific video just about this question as well is because my answer to it links into the topic that I really want to talk about today as well, which is intuition. And so this question is, when am I going back to Delos? / why did I leave Delos? They're quite often interlinked. And for those of you who don't know what Delos is, I'll quickly explain. You may have seen that name pop up on my Instagram somewhere or on my YouTube channel at some point, but Delos is a beautiful, beautiful boat that I sailed on over the space of 4 years. After I left school when I was 17, I sailed with my auntie and uncle to Fiji, and in Fiji I met Delos. They had sailed from America, and I literally jumped ship and spent the next 4 years on and off seasonally sailing with them from Fiji to Madagascar, which is where I left the boat. And when I joined, we had a blog going where we were writing stories about living life on a 53-foot sailboat with a bunch of other people. There was 4 of us at the time, and living life on the high seas and writing stories about the cultural experiences that we were having. And over the space of those years, it eventually grew into a YouTube channel where we started making like weekly videos and posting them, which gained a global audience of people who were really interested in our adventures. So that's what Delos is. It's a boat that I sailed on, which has a YouTube channel, and they are still sailing. Yeah, it was 3 years ago that I left that boat, and I've been doing Ramatry now, which is my own creative journey, for the past 3 years. So the answer to the first part of that question, am I going back to Delos? At the moment, no. That's pretty much as simple as it gets, I guess. Never say never, but at the moment, it's not something that's on my horizon or on my radar. Sailing puns. It was a beautiful time and a beautiful part of my life and a beautiful chapter, which is in the past. Also, I think I should just mention here, as you guys know, I was in a relationship with Brady while I was on the boat, and we broke up when I decided to leave. And he's now with a lovely woman named Alex, and they're totally doing their thing, and I'm really happy for them. So it would just be a little bit weird if I went back, you know. Times have changed and whatnot. So yeah, I'm really sorry for all of those who have been asking when I'm going back or would like to see me back there, but I just don't think it's going to happen at this stage. And the second part of that question is, why did I leave Delos? And that's a lot more of a complex and long answer. And this is the answer that sort of points to the topic of conversation that I've been really wanting to talk about, which is intuition. And so I'm going to be talking about intuition and giving examples through my experiences. And so my answer will sort of be woven into that. So first of all, I think it's important to clarify, what is our intuition? What is it? For me, it is a deeper body knowing, a gut feeling, like something that's not related to our mind. So it's a feeling that we get prior to reasoning or conditioning. And quite often that feeling stems from the belly, and sort of comes up through that way rather than our mind and our thoughts, which come from up here. Using and practicing our intuition is so important. It's super valuable, it's very powerful. It's like a connection to the spirit realm, and I feel like it's our guides, guiding us or giving us signs and giving us these messages to follow our purpose and to follow our truth. They're kind of giving us little directions and points in which way to go, so that we can live a more purposeful and harmonious life. And that's the beauty of it. Once you start practicing and once you start using it, you start to understand it, and you start to recognize when it's coming up and how your body feels it, how you know when it's your intuition talking. And the way I started practicing and using it was with really small things and really small examples, like don't sit over there, go and sit over there. Okay, cool, I'm gonna go sit over there. And I don't know, you might happen to meet someone that you wouldn't have met if you were sitting over there. If you're in the supermarket and you have this instinctive feeling to buy something, like follow those little signs, because later down the track you'll start to recognize, oh, that's why I did that. That's what my intuition was telling me to do. Yeah, so once you recognize that feeling and you start practicing it, and you'll start to see the reasons why it's giving you those signs, and it's unfolding before you, your understanding of it will deepen and your intuition will grow stronger. And yeah, it'll cultivate into something beautiful that can be really profound and really effective in our life. What generally happens when we disregard our intuition and we do something based on reasoning or social conditioning of the mind is we often sway from our purpose or our path or our true bliss. And that can be really dangerous, because with that deviation from our purpose or our path, with that comes a lot of suffering. And this shows up for people in a lot of different ways. And quite often we go for a long time without even recognizing that suffering. That's why I feel really passionate about our intuition and using it as a tool. And the reason why I'm talking about this in relation to my answer is because a big part of the reason why I decided to leave this boat was because of an intuitive feeling. And that's the thing with intuition, is you have to trust it, because it doesn't give you sometimes what it's telling you to do, or the signs that it's giving you, can be really uncomfortable or really scary, and that can be really frightening and really confronting, and then fear gets in the way. And so quite often we don't really follow those intuitive things that pop up for us. But for me, it was sort of on this last year of this journey when we sailed from Malaysia to Madagascar. We sailed across the Indian Ocean over the space of like 7 or 8 months. It was a massive, epic journey. But at the beginning of that trip, I had this little intuitive feeling in my belly that I wasn't supposed to be there. Like something wasn't sitting right. And it was like the little sleeping volcano thing. I suppressed it and I carried on, because from the outside looking in, it was 6 or 7 young people on a beautiful boat going on an amazing adventure, sailing across the world and filming it and documenting it and sharing it through YouTube and social media. And it was crowdfunded. People were like, paying money for our content. And that's like the dream, right? It's like the ultimate dream. And so this was my mind was telling me this, like, you should be really in your space here. You should be really, you're living the dream. This is the ultimate. This is the goal. But there was this feeling that wasn't sitting right with me. And so, yeah, the sleeping volcano thing kept popping up, and I kept suppressing it, and it kept popping up, I kept suppressing it. And yeah, at the end of the trip, or a couple months before the end of the trip, before I flew home, it was so strong that I had to make the decision to leave. And it was really, really, really difficult and really challenging for everybody on the boat, because it was this whole project that we had created together. And I know I've touched on this a little bit before if you've seen some of my previous videos, but yeah, it was very challenging. And I decided to fly home from Madagascar back to New Zealand, and I had no job lined up. I had no money. I was in debt to my parents, a little bit of money, and I had no idea what I was going to do. And I was pretty broken. Actually, I was really broken. I was pretty ill, physically, mentally, emotionally. I'd gone through quite a bit of changes and challenges in the last couple of months on the boat. It was so frightening. It was so frightening. It's probably been like the most pivotal point in my life. And it was massive. It was massive. And I still reflect back on it now, and it makes me quite emotional. And I think it makes me so emotional because I'm so proud of it, because I didn't let fear overrule my intuition. And what happens when you really follow your intuition and you're on your path of purpose is the universe sort of brings all the other elements together to propel you down that path. Like, it just works out. And that is trust. And trust and intuition go hand in hand. So, yeah. I just got goosebumps. There are a lot of other reasons and elements to the second part of that question, which is why I decided to leave. But at the core of it was, yeah, following my intuition. That was sort of what encompassed the whole thing. And it's really brought me closer to my path. And ultimately, that's kind of what we're here for, is to grow and to evolve and to get closer to our centers, internally with ourselves and also externally with the world around us, and to live a more harmonious, balanced life in connection with nature and our earth and each other. And I think that's such an important way to heal ourselves and the planet, is by starting from within. It may seem like a selfish act sometimes, to work on yourself and to focus on working on yourself, but I think that's one of the most important things we can do, especially in this day and age, in the modern world, with so much disconnect from one another and from nature. I think it's such an important place to start, is within ourselves, because once we all get closer to our purpose and our path, and we can really see the connection that binds everything, and that we are all one and the same, I think only then can we heal. We're all in it together. But yeah, I truly believe that our intuition is there for a reason, and it's there to guide us towards that truth. Yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. Figuring out what it feels like for you, what you know when your intuition is guiding you. Start practicing and using it. Let it grow, let it deepen, and don't let fear get in the way of your intuition, because your intuition is there to guide you, and you need to trust it. You need to trust it. It won't let you down. It will not let you down. It will give you exactly what you need and provide you with exactly the tools and all the things that you'll need for that path. Because quite often we have the thoughts of, oh, I can't do that, I don't have enough money, or what are these people going to think of me if I do that, or oh, it's not the right time to do that, that's outrageous, or all these thoughts come into our head, but these are just secondary things after the initial intuitive feeling. And so just trust that first gut instinct and run with it. I'm starting to really read little signs that are showing up for me on a day-to-day basis, and I've been following them, and I've been feeling really in line and in tune with myself and the world around me, and it's just been this really beautiful energy exchange happening, and I'm just feeling really in my flow and on my path, and I'm really happy. Obviously I still feel sadness, and I suffer in other ways, and that's just the yin and yang and balance of life, but I feel closer to myself for sure. Anyway, I hope that you have taken something away from this. I hope that it somewhat answers that question, and it gives you something to think about. My intention with my videos always is to express myself, finding different ways to express myself and understand myself, and to connect with you, and for you to understand yourself and connect with yourself, and just continue to create and connect, because those are two things that I value very much. So thank you very much for watching.